What will Garp's moveset look like? Welcome back to the channel. We are wrapping up the data mined characters for Character Pass 2. Now, this is the last of the quote-unquote characters that are coming out officially that we know are coming. But I will be continuing this series afterwards in a sense with characters that I would like to either see in this game or in a Pirate Warriors sequel in general. For example, I did a video titling like what would a Character Pass 3 look like, and I was pretty much saying like I would like a King, Queen, Black Maria, King of Hell Zoro, Demonio Fleur, Robin, Sanji with the Ifrit, you know, and a movie pack that had like Zephyr, Shiki, and Bullet. So maybe those are the next 9 characters that I will be covering, because obviously I do like doing these videos just in general. It's not really just a, you know, a Pirate Warriors specific, you know, for the things that we have announced. I would like to see these characters in the game with these moves. So I like doing these videos as kind of like analytical stuff, and you guys seem to be enjoying all of them. So when it comes to Garp, they said that it is the Younger Days pack. So obviously everyone like Rayleigh and Roger in this pack are gonna look like, you know, they're younger versions of themselves. Now for Garp, there are multiple versions of his quote-unquote younger self. We do have clarification and confirmation of how he looked like when he fought with Roger against Rocks at the God Valley incident. So are they going to give us a Garp that looks like that? Are they going to give us the more traditional, like, younger Garp, which was Garp, I think, with, like, the black suit. Him and Sengoku were rocking the black suit back in the day. And he had the black hair. And I think there were, like, you know, the Donchin Jiao flashback and stuff like that. So I kind of want to lean towards that version of Garp. Because even though it says Younger Days, all of these characters are like in their 50s, right? Like Rayleigh's like 50-something in the flashback with Odin. Roger obviously was probably around that same age range, and same thing with Garp. Now before we jump into the usual 3 sections of, you know, these videos, I do want to clarify that I do think it was really shitty and really crappy that, you know, Koei Tecmo, wherever, got rid of Garp from Pirate Warriors 3 and then made him a basic NPC in Pirate Warriors 4. And they did that with a lot of other characters too, as well as taking away like stages like Skypiea and stuff like that. So I think it's a little scummy that they took away Garp from the last game to give us a new Garp. Now I'm hoping by doing this, they're giving us a Garp with the moves from like the manga stuff, which we'll get into, and not just a reskin of Garp with the exact same, you know, specials and moves that he had in Pirate Warriors 3. So with all that being said, let's jump into the first section of these videos, and that is what type is he going to be? Now Garp, I feel like, is a very obvious contender for a power type. In Pirate Warriors 3, which you're seeing in the gameplay that I captured earlier, Garp is a very, like, he's basically like a luchador in Pirate Warriors 3. Like, he grabs you by the legs and like windmills you around. He does a lot of like wrestling moves, and he's very fun to use. Obviously he uses the cannonball stuff, but you know, Garp is a very powerful, like, he is the definition of a brawler type character, so I could very easily see him being a power type. The only other type that I could see them doing is if they're going to combine, you know, old Garp moves and young Garp moves, is maybe make him a technique type. And what I mean by that is because Garp, obviously when he's older, and in the Pirate Warriors 3, he has these, like, you know, cannonball moves, like the giant cannonball special attack and all that stuff that he did in Water 7. So I could see them using that as an excuse to make him a technique type. But if I'm gonna be real, I do think, like, I'm again 95% chance that Garp is gonna be a power type. His name is literally Garp the Fist. So I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. Okay, so getting into combos. Okay, so combos, I feel like I kind of hope in a way. It's, again, I mentioned earlier how I think it was scummy that they got rid of him from Pirate Warriors 3, but I do hope they keep the, like, kind of wrestling motif that they've had for him in the past in this new version of Garp, because literally grabbing fools by the mouth in the air, tossing them to the ground, like suplexing people, grabbing them by the legs and like windmilling them around, making like a air current, all of that stuff was really fun in Pirate Warriors 3, and it had been a while since I played as Garp, so I do hope they kind of keep some of his wrestling isms in there, and obviously adding some new stuff that we know from like his flashbacks. The only real thing I can like see them adding is maybe like that move he did against Donchin Jiao, which wasn't even a move. I don't even think it was just. I think he literally just punched Donchin Jiao so hard with his own hockey and brute strength that he just, you know, messed up his head. So I mean, they could add that and maybe like an air combo or something. But I do think Garp is going to be a character that's probably going to be really, like, quote unquote solid. Like, he's going to be a hefty type of character where he's just going to be, you know, pretty fast, because he is pretty fast in Pirate Warriors 3 too. But I feel like he's gonna be like a more, like, put his hands on you type of character. Like, he's gonna like suplexes, you know, very wrestling type. Again, I like pretty much like the way he is in Pirate Warriors 3, but maybe obviously add some more moves from like the anime and maybe even other games and stuff. But honestly, the way he played in Pirate Warriors 3 is probably he's gonna like the way he's gonna play here. But then again, I say that, but after revisiting Pirate Warriors 3, Shanks in Pirate Warriors 4 does not play like the way he does in Pirate Warriors 3, so you know, you never know. Hell, maybe the film Red Shanks is gonna play like Pirate Warriors 3 Shanks, and I don't know how that's gonna go over, but you know, it doesn't really mean he has to play like a previous version of himself. But I would say expect, at least I'm expecting something similar to the way he was in the last game. So from here on out, I'm gonna be addressing manga spoilers. Usually I wouldn't do this for like, you know, chapters that are really, really old, but obviously this is from chapters in the past like 2 months. Like this chapter like 1080, 1081 and stuff like that. So it's chapters that have come out in the past, like basically in the summer. So, you know, spoiler warning here. But before I get into the special, I am going to mention like the blue hole that he did against Aokiji, where he basically grabbed him by the mouth and just like sent him flying into a crater. Like, I don't know if he made the crater with Aokiji's body, which is what I'm assuming he did. But it's funny because there is a move in Pirate Warriors 3, like I think it's the square triangle string, where you know, which you see in the gameplay a lot. You know, he, you know, kicks you up, or he grabs you, throws you in the air, then he jumps in the air, grabs you, and then he like launches you down. So I could see them maybe reusing that animation to add to the blue hole if they are going to add these special moves. And speaking of special moves, let's get into them. So obviously Garp is a character that, you know, we've seen a lot of in his older years. We haven't really seen a ton of stuff from him, at least concerning like combat. We obviously heard of the God Valley incident, and we have that one image of him with, you know, standing bloody and you know, above the people that he just defeated. So we've seen a couple like glimpses and stuff, and like, you know, flashbacks with him talking to Roger, and you know, the flashback with Luffy, Ace, and Sabo and all that stuff. So we've seen a lot when it comes to Garp being younger, but we haven't seen many of his actual moves. So it's natural to me that obviously if he has a move when he's older, he probably had it when he was a bit younger and more in his prime. So I'm assuming every move that he did against Aokiji will probably be in Pirate Warriors 4 in some way, shape, or form. And if they don't add a single one of these, I would actually be surprised, because they have delved into manga stuff before. Okay, so the first one has a bit of debate with it really quick, and this is whether or not he'll have Conqueror's Haki as a special attack. Now, I don't know if Garp is confirmed to have Conqueror's Haki. Usually the way we kind of get signify that a character is infusing their attacks with like super like amounts of haki is like through lightning, or like the little like crackling of lightning off of the fist or off of the attack. However, there is very similar lightning when it comes to like advanced armament haki, which I went and researched obviously in preparation for this, just to double check. And in Katakuri's match against Luffy, which obviously one of the biggest factors in that match was Katakuri's like observation and armament haki was way above Luffy's. Now, most of the attacks Katakuri did, even though having like the bluish like haki, at least the way it's visualized in the anime, and how he hit Luffy's fist, like Luffy could still like be hurt with his haki. Most of those attacks didn't have the like lightning crackling off of it. However, there was one moment when he's doing specifically the buzz cut mochi. That one had lightning on his, like, you know, when he basically clotheslined Luffy. And then when he also decked Luffy into the floor, there was like massive like lightning like hitting off of it. So now I don't know obviously if it's confirmed that Katakuri could infuse with Conquerors, which I feel like if he could have, it would have been a much different fight for Luffy, let's be honest. But you know, I don't think Garp might have this special attack just because of that. So it might just be that Garp has insane level of armament haki. So I don't know, if they do give him Conqueror's Haki, that is going to be interesting. That maybe that's a sign that, you know, confirmation that he does have it. My only argument towards this is that if you are a person that the Pirate King was like, would recognize your ability and strength, and the fact that him and Roger fought over and over and over, and basically like, they were the, like, Roger only cared if Sengoku or Garp were the ones after him. If it was any other admiral, if it was any other pirate, you know, pirate or marine, whatever, he didn't care unless it would be Whitebeard, Garp, or Sengoku. Those are the only people he really even cared about. And one can assume Roger clearly has like Conqueror's Haki infusion, considering him and Whitebeard clash without, you know, actually making contact and splitting the skies and all that stuff. So if you're gonna keep up with someone that has Conqueror's Haki Infusion, maybe you also have to have it, because let's be honest, it is a massive power boost when it comes to having that, because Luffy was able to fight with Gear 4 with Ryuo and all that stuff, and sure, it hurt Kaido, but Luffy in base form using Conqueror's Haki Infusion was able to knock Kaido on his ass with a single blow, or like, you know, 2 or 3 hits when he first developed it. So, and he was able to keep up fighting a hybrid Kaido. So my only logical assumption is that Garp may indeed have Conqueror's Haki Infusion attacks. So with my guess, I'm gonna guess he's gonna have Conqueror's Haki, maybe. So that one is just an option, but I'm gonna lean on that he might have it. The next special attack, which I mentioned already briefly, was the Blue Hole. Now that one is pretty much, you know, he grabbed Aokiji from the face, tossed him, made a crater. That could be a, again, special attack that they can use. I mean, again, it looks very similar to a combo string that he has in Pirate Warriors 3. So again, it does crackle with lightning. So maybe it just goes up in the sky with an, you know, any NPC that you grab, because Katakuri's Buzz Cut does like grab a single enemy and then it does like the AoE kind of hit. So they could do the same thing with the Blue Hole, where he grabs any enemy and then he launches and it does like the ground like AoE attack, where it does a bunch of stuff after contacting the ground. Okay, and the next special attack is probably going to be the Galaxy Impact. Again, a punch that had a massive like dome shockwave with crackling lightning. Again, maybe just advanced armament, or it could also be just Conqueror's Haki Infusion, because, you know, he even has like the super serious like almost Conqueror's Haki eyes, where you have the little dot in your eye, then like the white space, and then the outside of your eye. And like I feel like that only happens when you use Conqueror's Haki. So, or if you're serious or shocked. So, you know, again, not gonna go too deep into that, but we have the Galaxy Impact. That is, again, he's probably just gonna jump in the air, throw that shit down, and it's probably gonna be massively powerful and have a bunch of range. I think that'll be probably one of his 4 stars. It'll be really, really cool. Another one is obviously gonna be his Full Force Burst. Obviously not much there, just gonna give him the standard buffs. So the 5th special attack I have in mind is clearly the Galaxy Divide. Now this one he did against, I believe it was Pizarro, like at least you know, in full lead, like when he hit the actual, you know, like rock and stuff like that. So like, you know, Garp literally just ping pong. I mean, you could argue he's a speed type, because he literally just ping pongs across buildings to like the front of the mountain or whatever, the, you know, the skull, and then he just splits the entire thing in half. So, you know, the Galaxy Divide, another really, really dope special attack that we could be seeing. You know, probably could do like, you know, like how Kizaru does the Yada Mirror. You could probably see something like that, and then you know how at the end he does like a little laser beam. So we could see that for a version for Garp. So these 6 special attack that I have, and now this is really, you know, specific to the actual like fight against like all the Blackbeard pirates and stuff. Now this is called Pirate Fireballs, and this is that he basically blocked a fire shot with other pirates, and then he used them as like, you know, like other, like he threw them around to hit other pirates as like, you know, human like bullets pretty much. Now again, that wouldn't be too far off from a thing that Garp would do, because he is very, you know, he's very comic-y, very funny in terms of his gameplay, especially in Pirate Warriors 3, where he's like, he has like basically a cartoon smoke where he's just like hitting a bunch. He has the Fist of Love, which I think will be another special attack. I think they'll keep that, because I don't think that's anything that's like exclusive to old Garp, obviously, and I feel like it's a very fun special attack. And then you have, you know, this Pirate Fireball thing. This was more of a stretch, because obviously it involves like props and stuff, but I think it could be possible. I already mentioned the Fist of Love, and the last special attack that I can think of is the Cannonball special attack, like the giant one. Now this will probably be a reused special attack. Will I be happy about it? Probably not, but it is still like a very fun looking special attack where he just, you know, throws a giant oversized iron ball. I think they could keep that in it, but you know, who knows if they do that, because I know that was a specific thing where he did it in Water 7. And if they're really gonna go and abide by their own rules of making it like a young Garp and having him do like other unique things, then maybe they give him, I don't know, like a speed blitz attack again, where he does a bunch of like punches or, you know, kicks and something like that, because, you know, it'd be pretty cool to see him do something like that. But, you know, who knows what we could see for him. Honestly, he might not have any of these special attacks. He might have, again, a game exclusive move set where, you know, they don't even apply stuff from the manga that recently came out that was revealed by him. So, you know, who knows when it comes to special attacks, but those are my personal picks for special attacks because, you know, Garp is funny. He's also very, very powerful, very serious. So I do, like, jumping back to the combo game a little bit, I do kind of, like I said, keeping like that wrestling aspect of him, but there was a funny aspect of his fighting where there was even a move where he could, you know, grab you, punch you, you'll both fall asleep, and then he'll wake up to punch you like he did it to Luffy in Water 7. There was also the suplexes and stuff like that, like the cartoon smoke where, like, you know, you pretty much, it was kind of like a vacuum where you would suck in enemies into and just damage them a bunch. So it was kind of like a tornado almost. So I think he's just a really fun, funny, unique character that has a lot of potential. And honestly, out of the three, I think if I were going to order the last DLC pack in terms of excitement, I'd probably say maybe Garp or Roger first, Garp or Roger second, then Rayleigh. But, you know, they're all seem hype, so let me know what you all think about this moveset video. If you have any specific character requests for, you know, put it in a community post too, for me to, you know, tackle in terms of, like, maybe it could be Shiki the Golden Lion, you know, Bullet, Zephyr, whatever that I may be trying to cover already. But it could be other characters like Admiral, like Green Bull and stuff like that. So, you know, characters that maybe even Rob Lucci, now that we have an updated version with him, like with an Awakening and stuff like that. So I can do my best with whatever you guys request me, and I can try and make a video to kind of, you know, keep this train going. So with all that being said, hope you enjoyed this moveset video. Let me know what you think about the potential that Garp has with his moveset. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think I missed something with his moveset? Do you think there could be something more that I missed? Make sure you leave it in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed. We're so close to 4K, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.